The vintage diamond caught the morning light, scattering tiny rainbows across my laptop screen. I should have been working on client websites, but instead I couldn't stop staring at my engagement ring. 3 days ago, Andrew had gotten down on one knee in Central Park, presenting me with what he called his grandmother's ring, a family heirloom passed down through generations. I'm Nina, and until last night, I thought I was living a fairy tale. It's absolutely gorgeous, my best friend Penny had gushed over wine. But girl, that setting looks way too fancy for a grandmother's ring from the suburbs. I brushed her off then, but her words nagged at me. Andrew had always been vague about his family, claiming they were private people who'd moved around a lot. The ring didn't match the modest background he'd described. Last night, I finally gave in to my curiosity and reverse image searched it. What I found made my blood run cold. Hey, checking out wedding venues? Andrew's voice suddenly came from behind me. I slammed my laptop shut, but not before he glimpsed the screen, showing an identical ring on the finger of a missing heiress. Just browsing, I managed, my heart pounding. His usual warm smile seemed different now, almost predatory. Find anything interesting? He massaged my shoulders, but his fingers felt like ice. Nothing special. I forced myself to lean back, playing casual. Hey, tell me again about your grandmother? The one who gave you the ring? Andrew's hands stilled for a fraction of a second. What's there to tell? Sweet old lady. Loved her jewelry. When did she pass away? About 5 years ago. He kissed the top of my head. Why the sudden interest? Just wondering about family traditions, for the wedding. He walked around to face me, studying my expression. Then he smiled, not the charming grin I'd fallen for, but something darker. You'll find out everything soon enough, baby. I promise. I kept my face neutral, but inside I was already reaching for my phone to dial the police tip line. The only question was, would I live long enough to make that call? I waited until Andrew left for work before calling Penny. I need your help. Something's wrong. On my way, she said without hesitation. 20 minutes later, we sat cross legged on my bedroom floor, surrounded by papers I'd pulled from Andrew's desk drawer. Look at this. Penny pointed to a document. His social security number's different here than on your rental application. My hands shook as I dialed my cousin Austin. Can you run a background check? Something deeper than the usual sites? Give me an hour, he said. While waiting, I searched our apartment. Behind Andrew's dresser, I found a shoebox filled with newspaper clippings about wealthy women. Some were circled in red ink. Nina, Penny's voice was tight. Remember when he said his grandmother died 5 years ago? This obituary from last month mentions her attending her grandson's wedding. My phone buzzed. Austin, you need to hear this. Your fiance doesn't exist. At least, not under that name. What do you mean? The social's fake. His driver's license number belongs to a dead man, Nina, whoever he is. The front door clicked. I hung up quickly. Honey? Andrew called out. You home? I shoved the papers under the bed. In here. Just organizing some things. He appeared in the doorway, eyes scanning the room. Hey, Penny, didn't expect to see you here. Just helping with wedding stuff, she said smoothly, but I saw her slip the obituary into her pocket. After she left, Andrew wrapped his arms around me. You seem tense. Everything okay? Just wondering about the ring again. Your grandmother must have been pretty wealthy. He laughed softly against my neck. You're so curious lately. Don't worry about the past, baby. Focus on our future. That night, I lay awake beside him, listening to his steady breathing. My phone lit up with a text from Penny. Found something big. The ring belongs to Rose Green. She's been missing for 8 months. Last seen with her new fiancé. I turned to look at Andrew's sleeping face, wondering how many other women had done the same before disappearing forever. Detective Young's weathered face grew serious as he spread photos across my kitchen table. These were taken 6 months ago. That's Rose Green wearing your ring. My legs went weak. I gripped the chair. And this one? Her fiance, who called himself Guy. Recognize him? The photo showed Andrew in a tailored suit, hair slightly darker, but unmistakably him. The room started spinning. Miss? Detective Young's voice seemed far away. Maybe you should sit. I woke up on my couch, the detective holding a glass of water. Sorry, I mumbled. It's just, I'm sleeping next to him every night. We'll protect you, but we need evidence. Can you access his personal items? That afternoon, I waited until Andrew went to the gym. My hands trembled as I worked on his safe. Thank God for YouTube lockpicking tutorials. Inside, I found a stack of passports with different names, but Andrew's face. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Meet me at Riverside Cafe, 3 p.m. Come alone. Celeste. The cafe was nearly empty when I arrived. An elegant older woman waved me over. I'm Celeste, Rose's aunt, she whispered. I saw your ring in the police report. Please, my voice cracked. What happened to her? Celeste's eyes darted around. Rose met him at a gallery opening. Called himself Ivan then. After the engagement, she started asking questions about his past. Then she wiped a tear. She just vanished. My phone rang. Andrew. Hey, baby, planning something special for us tonight. A little engagement party. My family's dying to meet you. That's wonderful. I forced enthusiasm into my voice. Don't worry about arrangements. I've handled everything. After hanging up, I turned back to Celeste, but she was already standing, face pale. A party? Nina, listen carefully. Rose disappeared the night after her engagement party. Whatever you do, don't. There you are! Andrew's voice boomed across the cafe. Both Celeste and I froze. He walked over, smiling broadly. Making new friends, honey? Celeste grabbed her purse and hurried out. Andrew watched her go, then turned to me, his smile never reaching his eyes. Ready to meet the family? The engagement party felt like a surreal play where I was the only one who didn't know my lines. Unfamiliar faces congratulated us, claiming to be cousins, aunts, old family friends. I smiled until my cheeks hurt. Nina, Andrew called, come meet Aunt Vanessa. A tall woman with steel gray hair stood rigidly by the window. Her handshake was ice cold. So lovely to finally meet you, she said, but her eyes seemed empty. Andrew tells me you helped raise him after his mother passed, I ventured. A flicker of confusion crossed her face before she recovered. Yes. Such a difficult time. I excused myself to the bathroom, but slipped into the study instead. Voices drifted through the air vent. You promised this one would be different, Vanessa's voice hissed. It is, Andrew replied. She's perfect for. My phone buzzed. An unknown number. It's Gabriella, your sister. We need to talk. I hadn't spoken to her in years, not since she'd stormed out after that fight with Mom. Now she was reaching out? Meet me at the Plaza Hotel bar. Now. It's about Andrew and Dad. 20 minutes later, I faced my sister across a dimly lit table. She looked older, harder. How did you know about Andrew? I demanded. She slid a manila folder across the table. Because I've been investigating him for months. Look at this. The first photo showed two men in handcuffs. One was our father, the other. That's Andrew's father, Gabriella said. They worked together stealing art. Dad went to prison, but Andrew's father disappeared. Along with millions in stolen paintings. What are you saying? Andrew's been following you for years, Nina. This isn't random, it's revenge. My phone lit up with a text from Austin. Got into his encrypted files. Nina, you need to see these photos now. I opened the attachment and nearly dropped my phone. Dozens of women's photos, all wearing my ring. And in the background of one, barely visible but unmistakable, stood Vanessa, looking exactly the same as she did tonight, in a photo dated 1985. Who are these people? I whispered. Gabriella gripped my hand. Not who. What? And the question is, what happens to their fiancés after the engagement party? Detective Young spread the encrypted photos across his desk. All these women disappeared after their engagement parties. No bodies ever found. But Vanessa, she doesn't age, I pointed at the 1985 photo. How is that possible? Could be different women, similar appearance, or. He hesitated. Plastic surgery. We've seen this in long con operations before. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. Don't dig too deep, sweetheart. Some holes are too dark to escape. Gabriella's office at the newspaper was covered in red string and photos. Look at this pattern. She pointed to a timeline. Every 18 months, like clockwork, he finds wealthy women, stages elaborate proposals. Then they vanish, I finished. Her computer screen flashed with an error message. What the? She typed frantically. We're being hacked. Everything's gone. My phone rang. Penny. Nina, someone broke into our apartment. My laptop's fried, but they left something for you. I rushed home. On my pillow lay a single red rose and a note. Curious girls end up like Rose Green? We need to move you to a safe house, Detective Young insisted. No. I opened Andrew's drawer, finding a burner phone. Look at these messages. They're from someone named Celeste, but the real Celeste denied contacting him. Last message sent 10 minutes ago, the detective noted. Everything's ready for tomorrow night. My sister grabbed my arm. Nina, tomorrow's your engagement party. Actually, I smiled grimly, it's Andrew's last performance. I pulled out my own burner phone. I've been recording everything, every conversation, every threat, but we need more. It's too dangerous, Gabriella protested. These women deserve justice. I touched the ring, and I'm done being afraid. That night, I lay in bed beside Andrew, pretending to sleep. He got up at 3 a.m., whispering into his phone. The buyers are ready. Yes, she's perfect. No, she suspects nothing. I kept my breathing steady, but my mind raced. Buyers? For what? Or whom? Suddenly, the bed dipped. Andrew's hand stroked my hair. Such a pretty little detective, he whispered. Time to show you what happens to girls who ask too many questions. I kept my eyes closed, fighting every instinct to run. Andrew's fingers traced my cheek. I know you're awake, Nina. His voice was different now, colder, accented. Let's talk about your little investigation. I opened my eyes. Let's talk about Rose Green instead. He laughed. Straight to business. I like that about you. He held up my phone. Interesting call history. Detective Young, your sister, even dear Celeste. Where is Rose? Where they all are. Somewhere profitable. He pulled me up by my arm. You've been very thorough, but you missed something crucial. The Swiss bank accounts? I said. Or the trafficking ring? His grip tightened. How did you? You're not the only one who can play pretend, Andrew. Or should I say Ivan? I nodded toward the window where a red dot from a police scope appeared on the wall. His eyes darted around. You're bluffing. The honeymoon plans to Switzerland? That's where you were going to sell me, right? Just like the others? Clever girl. He reached into his jacket. But not clever enough. The window crashed inward. Andrew yanked me against him, pressing something cold to my neck. Detective Young's voice boomed through a megaphone. Release her! You're surrounded! Tell them to back off, Andrew hissed. Instead, I triggered the recording device in my necklace. Confess, what happened to Rose? You want to know? He laughed maniacally. She's modeling in Dubai, permanently, just like the others. Rich men pay well for pretty, educated wives. And Vanessa? My dear aunt, she picks the girls, grooms them, such an eye for quality. Suddenly, Gabriella's article about Guy Owens flashed on every screen in the apartment phones, laptops, TV. His grip loosened in shock. I drove my elbow back, breaking free. The SWAT team burst in as Andrew lunged for me. A shot rang out. Andrew stumbled, clutching his shoulder. As they dragged him away, he smiled through bloody teeth. You have no idea what you've started. Behind him, Vanessa appeared in the doorway, her face twisted in rage. She raised her hand. Something glinted in the darkness. Nina, down! Detective Young shouted. The world exploded in gunfire and breaking glass. Glass rained down as I rolled behind the couch. Vanessa's bullet missed me by inches. You ruined everything, she screamed, firing again. Decades of work! SWAT officers returned fire. Vanessa dove into the hallway, dropping something that filled the room with smoke. Through the chaos, I heard Andrew laughing. Tell her, detective! Tell Nina about her father. Detective Young grabbed my arm, pulling me toward the fire escape. Not now! My father? I yanked away. What about him? Andrew's voice carried through the smoke. He didn't just steal art, Nina. He helped us find girls, including your sister. He's lying. Gabriella appeared beside me, gun drawn. Dad was many things, but not that. Check his prison visitors. Andrew coughed as officers handcuffed him. Vanessa saw him monthly, planning, waiting. You were always the target, Nina. Revenge for his betrayal. Detective Young's face confirmed it. We found the records yesterday. Your father, he was part of their organization. My legs gave out. Penny caught me as Vanessa's voice echoed from somewhere below. You're just like your mother, Nina. She asked too many questions, too, before your father made her disappear. Mom abandoned us, Gabriella whispered. Did she? Vanessa laughed. Check the basement of your old house. Behind the wall your father rebuilt that summer. Horror crawled up my throat. I remembered that summer. The construction. The smell. Enough! Detective Young shouted. Buildings surrounded Vanessa. It's over. A crash from the stairwell. Officers swarmed down. Officer down! She's heading for the garage! I ran to the window. Vanessa was speeding toward the gate in Andrew's car. Stop her! I screamed. She knows where the others are! But Vanessa never made it. The gate didn't open. She crashed full speed into it. I changed the gate code, I said as officers pulled her unconscious body from the wreck. Figured you'd try running. Andrew stared at me as they led him away. You really are your father's daughter. No, I watched Vanessa being handcuffed. I'm my mother's daughter, and I'm going to find out what happened to her. Detective Young touched my shoulder. Nina. There's more you need to know. The courtroom fell silent as I took the stand, facing Andrew one last time. The ring caught my attention first, I testified, my voice steady. A family heirloom that belonged to a missing woman, then the fake identities, the mysterious aunt, the trafficking ring, but mostly the arrogance of a man who thought he'd never be caught. Andrew's smirk faltered as I detailed every conversation, every threat, backed by recordings and evidence. His lawyer kept objecting, but the damage was done. During recess, Detective Young pulled me aside. We found her, Nina, in the basement, exactly where Vanessa said. I gripped Gabriella's hand. Mom? And 5 others. All these years, I'm so sorry. Back in court, Vanessa broke under cross examination. Names, dates, locations spilled out, decades of trafficking women through fake marriages. When she mentioned my father's role, I stood up. Your Honor? I walked to the witness stand. I have one question for her. The judge nodded. Did my father kill my mother because she discovered your operation? Vanessa's mask cracked. She was going to expose everything. He chose us over her, over you girls, just like Andrew chose us over Rose. Rose Green is alive, Detective Young announced from the gallery. Swiss authorities found her and 3 others in a Geneva compound. They're coming home. Andrew lunged forward. You stupid bitch! Do you know what you've done? They'll kill us all. The buyers? I smiled. Already arrested. Your entire network is finished. The verdict came fast, guilty on all counts. As they led Andrew away, I approached him. You wanted revenge on my father through me? I held up the ring. Here's what revenge really looks like. I dropped the ring at his feet. Outside, reporters swarmed us. Gabriella handled them while I stared at the sky, finally breathing freely. What now? Penny asked, hugging me. Now? I watched Andrew's buyers being led into separate police cars. We find every girl they took. We bring them all home. Detective Young nodded. Where do we start? I pulled out a notebook filled with names and dates. We start with the truth, no matter how much it hurts. The ring glinted in its evidence bag. They say karma comes around. Sometimes you just have to help it find its way.